In this video, we will be discussing simple interest and how you can find simple interest given certain information. So the simple interest formula is I equals PRT, where I is the interest accumulated, P is the principal, which is the original amount borrowed, R is the interest rate in decimal form, and T is the time in years. So let's look at an example. Dabo invests $2,500 at 5% simple interest for 3 years. So 2 parts. Part A, how much interest is earned? Part B, how much does he have in his account? So for the interest, we're just going to use the formula and plug in what we know. So he invests $2,500, that's the principal. The rate is 5%, and as a decimal, that's 0.05. Remember, you can find that by dividing by 100 or moving the decimal over twice to the left. The years is the time, so that's 3, and that will give us the amount of interest earned on this account. When we multiply those together, we get $375. So $375 is the amount of interest that's earned. How much does he have in his account? To find that, you add the original amount, so how much you invested, plus the interest earned, and then that gives you the amount, right? The total amount. So he invested originally $2,500. He earned $375 in interest. So when you add those together, you get $2,875. So that's the amount in the account after 3 years. All right, let's look at the next example. Jane borrows $1,200, agreeing to pay it back with 9% simple interest after 18 months. How much will she pay back at the end of the 18-month period, and how much did she pay in interest? So it's usually, to me, when you're doing simple interest, it's usually easiest to find the interest first and then work from there. So let's do part B first. How much did she pay in interest? So we have a formula. She borrowed $1,200. The rate is 9%, so that's 0.09 as a decimal, and the time is 18 months. Now remember that this needs to be in years, and it's very simple to change it. You always can just put the months over 12 because there are 12 months in a year. And if you do that every time, you don't have to worry about the decimal. Like this one's pretty easy because 18 divided by 12 is 1.5, but it could be, 1/12 or 5/12 or something that's not as easy to maybe convert to a decimal. So just put it as a fraction and type it in your calculator. And so you would type this in, you would do 1,200 times 0.09, and then you would multiply it by the numerator, so times 18, and you would hit equals, and you would get 1944, and then you divide that by 12. So when you divide it by 12, you get 162. So that's the amount that she pays in interest. So now let's look at part A. How much will she pay back at the end of the 18-month period? So she's going to have to pay back the interest, but she's also going to have to pay back the amount she borrowed to begin with. So this is where you add up the original amount plus the interest that's now owed. And when you do that, you get $1,362. Okay, we've got one last example, number 3. How long will it take $500 to grow to $3,250 if it is invested at 12% simple interest? So in this one, notice that we're asked how long. So in this, we are actually looking for the time. So let's look at the formula that we have, I equals PRT, and see what information we're given. So how long will it take $500 to grow to $3,250? Okay, so we don't even know the interest, but we can find the interest from that because that's what we would need for our formula. So to find the interest, we can take the original amount and subtract or subtract that from, I should say, the amount at the end. So the total, let's call it the total amount. So however much they have in the account at the end, that includes the original amount and interest. So if you subtract off the original amount, that will just leave you with interest. And so in this case, we have at the end, the total amount you want in the account is $32.50. And you're going to start with $500. So when you subtract $32.50 minus $500, you get $27.50. So that's how much interest you want to earn. So that goes in I. So $27.50 is the amount of interest you want to earn. The principal was $500. The rate is 12%, so as a decimal, that's 0.12. And the time is what we do not know. And so now we're going to work to figure this out. So we can do 500 times 0.12, and we get 60. So 60t. And then to solve, because we want to get t by itself, we would divide both sides by 60. So 27.50 divided by 60, and we get 45.83. So if we want to round, I guess to the nearest hundredth, that's what it would be. And remember, this is in years. So it would take a little over 45 years if you invested $500 and just left it there to collect interest, and you never added anything else to the account.